Borussia Dortmund made it through to the Champions League final last night after a 1-0 win over PSG. The game, of course, was live on talkSPORT. So, at 25, with no European titles to his name, would you break the bank to bring Mbappe to your club?
Kylian Mbappe leaves the field for the final time as a Paris Saint-Germain player in the Champions League.
The moment they've won that, they're all celebrating with their fans. Not one Dortmund player went to Mbappe to swap shirts.
Good players can have bad games. We saw that tonight with Mbappe.
Yeah, of course.
We saw that tonight.
I do think Mbappe's overrated. 4 semi-finals, he's had not one goal. In the Champions League, not one goal.
You expect him to score in these big games. Can you call Mbappe overrated?
It's a good question. Yeah, there's going to be no fairy tale ending for Mbappe at PSG after the French side crashed out of the Champions League. The game was live on talkSPORT. If you want to have your say on that, you can. 03 717 223344. Let's talk a bit of Kylian Mbappe, shall we? There is no doubt he is an absolute superstar. There is no doubt he's one of, if not the best player on the planet. Right? That's up for debate. Other people have got their favourites, but he's definitely in the conversation. Right?
The guy's got 161 goals and 177 games for PSG.
Yes,
league games. That is
monumental. He's already won a World Cup. Yep. He scored 4 goals in World Cup finals, 3 and 1.
So that puts to bed he doesn't score in big games.
Yes. Okay.
That's
but
the biggest...
you say that. He's got 42 Champions League goals, only 3 of them in the last 16 onwards. Okay? So you could argue that maybe he doesn't score in the big games at club level. And also, by the way, I'm not coming in from the angle of Kylian Mbappe is no good. I agree with you. I think he's one of, if not the best player on the planet. Okay? But you do look to your big name players to step up in big games, right? And we've talked about Thierry Henry, never scored in a big final, right? We've talked about Didier Drogba, but always did it in a big final. Firstly, what is the difference, do you think, between players stepping up on big occasions and not? Not necessarily scoring goals, but sometimes, like Steven Gerrard, for instance, when they play West Ham in the FA Cup final, Steven Gerrard single-handedly dragged his side to victory.
Not the FA Cup final, what, the Champions League final?
Yeah, but FA Cup final, you know, that goal he scored from outside.
But do you think about him that second
you're
half
right,
against Milan?
3-0 down, you're right, okay. Point proved twice then. What is it that separates a really, really, really good player to a great player that can do that on the big occasion?
I'm guessing they can just relax in certain moments, don't let the occasion get to them. They almost treat it like an individual game, like a normal game, even though we might from the outside be thinking, oh my goodness, this game's absolutely massive. They just seem to play it in, not a problem. And I'd still put Mbappe in that category. I mean, I still think he's the best player on the planet. I know last night wasn't his best game, I understand.
But it's one of his worst, right?
I get that, but you're talking about a guy, like I get it in the knockout stages of Champions League, his record's not great. I fully understand that, right? But you're talking about a guy that the biggest game on the planet in our sport is the World Cup final, right? Where the whole world's watching. The guy has scored in one final. No, scored both World Cup finals he's been in. He scored in both. One of them he scored a hat-trick in. Now, again, Messi played in that same World Cup final. He got 2, didn't he, Messi, in that one as well. So big players do step up. Why it's not happened for him at PSG
you could argue that Messi not single-handedly won the World Cup for Argentina, but without him, they're not getting close.
Yeah, and again, Ronaldo in 2016 with Portugal.
Right.
Don't think they were the best team in it, but boy, did he find a way for them to win it. Yeah. I still think Mbappe's incredible. He still took his country to a World Cup final and won the World Cup. For whatever reason at PSG, maybe it's the players they put around him. Maybe because watching it last night, I almost feel like PSG, there's no pattern of play. They have 1 or 2 superstars, and it's almost like, right, whatever you can do, give the ball to them. Because there's been times where he's played in really good PSG sides with the likes of Neymar's and Messi's, and Verratti was there for a while. They're good players, Di Maria, and they still can't win it. But I still think that's harsh to judge him by saying he's only got 3 goals in the 42 Champions League goals that he's got. Because even his record in the Champions League is incredible.
So but he hasn't scored that many, only 3 from last 16 onwards. That's the difference.
Yeah, I understand.
Listen, I'm not under no illusion the fact he's world class. I know that, right? But I just wonder, there are games where you look to that player, the other players in that team would look to him to drag them through if it's not happening for them. I mean, they had chances. They hit the post a couple of times last night.
But that's poor. I mean, that's poor finishing, poor decision making. Yeah. That's not necessarily him. And also give credit to Dortmund, who marshalled him really well. I thought like Matt Hummels at the back was incredible. But I mean, you can't say Like in one breath, people can't say that he doesn't show up in big games if he scored in the biggest game twice.
No, you're right. You're right. So one of the questions we're going to ask is he overrated? Why are we asking that question? Because we just heard some audio there of talkSPORT over the last 24 hours, and some fans questioning whether or not he is overrated. Well, I don't think he is. You don't think he is. Why do some people think he is?
I think people question it because of who he plays for in the league that he plays in.
Right. Okay.
I think because he plays in PSG and plays in Ligue 1, which is not one of the strongest leagues in world football, I think people use that to beat him with it. Like, it's not that good, he's playing the French league. And I think that's unfair. But, because obviously they got to the Champions League semi-final, so I think it's a bit unfair. But if you're talking about a guy who shows up in the biggest of moments, I think he's shown throughout his career, since he burst on the scene, by the way, 18, that he can do it.
Okay, one of the questions we're asking is he overrated? You can have your say on that, 0371 722 334. It's obviously going to be his last season at PSG. If he were to go on the transfer market tomorrow, maybe 2 years left on his contract, how much would he go for?
2 years left. 150 plus.
Okay. And it's worth every penny.
I would pay that, yeah.
So that amount of money, 150, is usually the type of money, the war chest that a lot of clubs have when the summer window opens.
Yeah.
Would you spend, if you were Arsenal's accountant, would you spend all of your money on one player?
No.
And that one player being him?
No.
You wouldn't? You don't think that's the difference?
No, not the whole.
Do you not?
I still think you need 1 or 2 more positions. Like, I get it, your club, you couldn't do that.
No, we couldn't, because we need 3 or 4, 5 or 6 or 7.
So it's...
Liverpool could.
See, that would work if Salah went and he come in.
If you ask Liverpool fans, get rid of Salah tomorrow for 130, put 50 million towards that.
Yeah, of course.
180 million Mbappe.
Yeah, because you've only got to find 50.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But that's all their money gone.
Imagine you trying to appease a Liverpool fan and go, listen, you're going to lose Salah, but Mbappe's coming.
But that's what I'm saying. Liverpool fans would do that. Just one player coming in, it's Mbappe for Salah.
Well, I almost feel like that's what they need.
Okay.
And he's versatile, can play down the middle. They've got a number of attacking players at that club that are versatile.
Okay. What would you give up for him? Would you give up Kai Havertz and Declan Rice?
No.
Would you not?
No.
Would you give up Declan?
No, absolutely not.
What?
No.
You wouldn't give up Declan Rice for Kylian Mbappe?
No.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.